Delhi, Colorado, one of the most famous small towns to be introduced in the 1920s. However, it is a site of an Amtrak train derailment that happened 42 years ago today. After these two crashes and a test run with the E60 on the Northeast Corridor on February 24th, 2 years later after the second crash, 77. On November 19th, 1977, Amtrak train number 4, the Southwest Limited at the time was called that until 1984, departed Trinidad, Colorado, bound for Chicago, Illinois. The train was hauled by SDP 40F 503 and three others, which were 529, which was a Phase 2 paint scheme at the time, 522, and 555. Three of them had the pointless 1971 Arrow logo, while 529 had Phase 2 paint scheme. Between La Junta, Colorado and Trinidad, Colorado, the train was making its way through a rail crossing, and then they realized there was a truck on the tracks beyond a corner. The train was pulling on the emergency brakes, but it was going 80 miles an hour to 78 miles an hour. And then the train derails, causing all four engines to derail and 10 of the coaches that derailed. Train 4, carrying 304 passengers and 14 crew members. Amazingly, no one was hurt or killed. To this day, the Southwest Chief is invincible. However, that the train was carrying a deadheading dome, a baggage car, a baggage dorm, 5 ex-Santa Fe El Capitan cars, which were high level, and 6 streamlined passenger cars. And 10 of the 14 cars derailed, leaving 4 of the cars upright. However, all the passengers evacuated from the train and emergency helpers took them to La Junta the next morning. It was amazing that the Southwest Chief never got any derailment that killed even one. But mostly when trains hit trucks, they don't derail. That's the problem, though. The problem was that there was a switch, and the truck wasn't even on the tracks. The third SDP 40F was crushed. The truck wasn't in a rail crossing, and an opponent stole railroad ties and stole the truck for a maintenance project. However, all the SDP 40Fs were deemed a total loss and put for service parts for F40PHRs. 585 was for F40PHR 281. 503 was for 282, 522 was 283, and 529 was for 284. However, a couple years later, all 4 engines never made it to preservation. However, 20 years later, the Kingman, Arizona train derailment occurred, and then 2 years later, the Mojave train derailment occurred, and then a year later, the Topeka, Kansas train derailment occurred. And all those accidents never had a casualty. After the accident, the Delhi, Colorado train rail crossing was used by a wigwag, such as However, beyond this curve, towards the wigwag, was where the accident occurred. This accident will live in Delhi, Colorado's history forever.